Happy Chinese New Year! Welcome back to Custom Card Weekly, where I challenge you to design a Shadowverse card, and we'll take a look at your submissions. Last week, I asked you to design a card based off of the Zodiac, Chinese or otherwise. It's the year of the pig right now, hence the Snapcam filter I have on. Snapcam has really upped the enjoyment of this series for me. First up, we have Aquarius, Phrygian Beauty. Fanfare and hand 7, give your leader the following effect. At the start of your opponent's turn, put a random countdown amulet that costs exploit points or less from your deck into play, then destroy that amulet. X equals the total amount of defense restored to all allies last turn. Not stackable. At the end of your turn, restore 2 defense to this follower. Evolve, put 2 monastic holy waters into your hand. And errata here, the evolve form also has this restore 2 defense to this follower effect. It's pretty cool. It's like a perpetuating, is that the word I'm looking for? It's like a Zeki Baba kind of effect, but it keeps going every turn. What I like about this card specifically is that it's the only card so far that's synergy for Vengeful Radiance, which is a card that I really liked, but it just didn't really make a splash, unfortunately, when it finally came out in Alter Sphere. So that's neat. I just like these deck building cards in general, man, where you have this effect that you have to build around, make it even a little impactful. What I like about this card too is that on curve, it still has value, because giving you 2 monastic holy waters is actually pretty sick. And the end of turn effect is just really good in general, so like on your evolve turn, you just evolve this, trade it, get a 6/6 body, and 2 defensive cards that also draw you cards. Pretty neat. So, cool card. The quality of amulets that you pull from it, I don't know, man. We saw Zeki Baba go into the top 8 of the last SEAO tournament, so maybe Amulet Haven's just a thing. Had to rep my sign. Appreciate that. Sagittarius. Making it out of your own sign. A bit more fun, isn't it? 8.48. That's a heck of an effect, though. Jeez Louise. Okay. Accelerate 3. Deal 3 damage to an enemy follower. Then, if you can evolve and have at least 1 evolution point, use 1 evolution point and deal 3 damage to the enemy leader. Kind of like Sylvia, the Condemner. I like the idea of evolving spells. I think that's something they should play around with more. It's a good concept that they're working with here. Rush, Invocation. At the start of your turn, if you have dealt at least 9 damage more than the defense of destroyed enemy followers through spells and effects during this match, put this card from your deck into play. Wait, what? You have dealt at least 9 damage more than the defense of destroyed enemy followers. So if you dealt like excess damage. Is that including damage to the leader? That's kind of fun. Whenever this follower attacks an enemy follower, deal X damage to the follower before it can deal any damage in return. X equals the follower's attack. So this helps invocate other Sagittariuses in that way. Plus it's just a sick invocation. Not as good as an 8-drop, is it? But I guess that's why the Accelerate is there. The Accelerate's like, okay. It's like not great, but it's okay. Which I like, you know. This is this recent pattern of just having accelerates and invocations and effects that don't lose anything because of flexibility, which I'm not sure I agree with, so this is a little cooler. Wow, am I losing my voice or something? What's happening? I'm cracking. I'm going through puberty all over again. Andromeda, Jewel of the Sky. Oh, I appreciate this. Got the voice lines and even an animation. That's kind of fun. Have fun with it, guys. When you make a card, just have fun with it. Let your imagination run wild. I love that. Andromeda, Jewel of the Sky. Is Andromeda a Zodiac? I don't think it is. You know what? I'll let it slide. Put so much work into it. Oh, my face is blocking the stat line here. Oh, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. Put you over there. Draw Random Legendary from your deck. I've lost the ability to speak. This is a disaster. Evolve, destroy all allied followers, and summon a random artifact follower. It costs 3 or less for each follower that was this. That was Portalcraft card. That's kind of neat. That's kind of neat. This is kind of wild. I like that effect. Well, first of all, the fanfare is cool because you can just get it to tutor Deus Ex Machina, which is fun. That's one way to support Artifact Portalcraft. Although I do think that deck is pretty good right now as is. Then this effect is super cool because what you do is you just have the freaking artifacts on your board already. You run them in, you evolve this, you just get a new batch. That's super neat. So you sit in your deck that way after pumping all your artifacts into it. Plus you get the value out of destroying, like you're analyzing artifacts for card draw and all. like this a lot. Again, the only downside is that I don't think Andromeda has a Zodiac. I like this. Holy Roast. Whenever an allied follower comes into play by the effect of an allied amulet, give it +1/+1 and rush. Helps out with your White Fang dragons and your Barongs, I guess, nowadays. Thing is, right, I think this is not great, because it'll just go the way of all these other amulets that you spend a bunch of play points on and don't freaking do anything. See Soldier's Vow, which is very overrated before it came out, and then people just realized, oh, you're a sword, you're a tempo class, you don't want to spend 5 play points to do nothing. It's just not going to get played because it's too expensive and it doesn't do anything on the turn where you want to be evolving and doing something, right? So unfortunately, not a great card in terms of effectiveness. Great card in terms of art, though. I appreciate that. Capricorn, Condescending Zodia, 5.43. Evolve if you have more cards in your hand than your opponent has in their hand. Remove 1 play point from your opponent. That's a cool effect. Kinda push them back a step. I just don't think it does enough on 5, right? If you're spending an evolve point on it. I mean, you're competing, like, in Forestcraft against Metara and other crazy good evolves. But the idea of removing play points from your opponent is neat. Is that a Capricorn thing to do? I wouldn't know. If you're playing the CCW drinking game, it's time to take a shot, because we got our Serpent support card. Hey, it's my sign! Gotta rep. Gotta rep. Libra. Zodiac of Balance. Fanfare, summon a Harnessed Flame and a Harnessed Glass. Heck yeah, man. This is your 10th turn or later. Combine an allied Harnessed Flame and an allied Harnessed Glass. Become Flame and Glass. That's what I'm talking about. Always thinking about that Flame and Glass meme. I actually really do like Flame and Glass, so I enjoy this. Saving an Evo point all the way to your 10th turn to get a Flame and Glass seems pretty fair. I hesitate to say fair. He's pretty okay. You know what scares me about this thing, though? It's a neutral card that costs 6 that floods your board with 3 followers, so that kind of enables some Gilmily stuff. Just more board flood in general, I suppose. But just a really cool card all around. I dig it. I really dig it. That's your priority target, too, if you just summon Libra, and then Flame and Glass comes up. Your opponent's like, well, I have to deal with that. Problem. That's fun. Oh, Feng Lang Shun getting his submission in literally 21 minutes ago. I like how people are just expecting that I'm gonna be late. I don't know if that's probably a bad thing. That's definitely a bad thing. But he made one for each of the 5 Granblue Fantasy Zodiac characters, which is pretty neat. I don't really play Granblue Fantasy, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if these are accurate to their effects at all. But it's pretty cool. Check it out. What is this? Sleep Incantation? Somebody didn't forget about the card Sleep Incantation? Mito, Dream Sheep Mage, 5/3/1, Fanfare, put a Sleep Incantation into your hand. Then if you have 20 cards or less in your deck, gain the ability to evolve for 0 evolution points. If you have 20 cards or less in your deck, put Sleep Incantations into your hand until it is full and change the cost of all Sleep Incantations into your hand to 0. Can't be targeted by allied Sleep Incantation. I love this card, man. I think this is my favorite run of this week. This is so cool. So it's flavorful because Sleep Incantation and the whole, you know, counting sheep thing. Dreaming, hence, you know, sheep, goat, Zodiac, etc. But it's also 20 cards or less rune synergy. And it includes a card that people don't really think about and makes it pretty strong, right? Like, if you do this and you have 20 cards or less in your deck, this becomes a 0 play point draw card. Return an enemy follower into their hand, or return a follower. That's so good. And imagine this in Take 2 as well, because you get to 20 cards or less so much faster in Take 2, and you see how powerful that is with Abyss Summoner. Of course, this is a legendary, so that's less of a factor, but still, this is a monster in Take 2 then. A hand full of cards that are 0 play point draw card. Just delete your enemy's board. That's sick. That is sick. Bravo. Halcyon98. You did it, buddy. Oh, I get it. I get it. I like how it's a mysterious spell too. That kind of adds to the flavor of this one. I think we'll stop here. I really enjoy this. This is funny. Anyway, thank you all for submitting. I appreciate ya. There's so much more than what I covered in this video. If you guys want to check them all out, that hashtag CCW Zodiac on Twitter. Look it up. Take a look at everybody else's submissions. Get inspired for next week, because we're at the end of the video here. You know what that means. Time for next week's theme. Which, this was like a long-winded intro to the next week's theme. I don't know. In honor of the great piranha plant, I want you guys to make a Shadowverse card based on your favorite Super Smash Bros. Character. Mine is obviously Duck Hunt. That's it for this video. Like it if you did, don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Shadowverse content in the very near future. And of course, thank you to my wonderful patrons, patreon.com/Ignideus. If you'd like to support the channel as well, I would highly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.